Alright, welcome back to ShootTube, and today we gotta talk Justice League. That's right, the latest installation in the DC Cinematic Universe has hit theaters this weekend. All the critics seem to hate it, all the fans seem to dig it. What did I think? Well, we'll find out in a minute. First off, I just gotta say, when they released the initial promotional reel, the first trailer at San Diego Comic-Con last year, I was pretty jazzed. I made no secret, very underwhelmed by most of the DC flicks that have come out here in the last couple of years, Wonder Woman being a huge exception. But yeah, those first clips that we saw definitely seemed like course correction in a big bad way. I dug what I saw out of Bruce Wayne and The Flash. It seemed like there was going to be a little bit more humor. So right off the bat, I was pretty stoked for this flick. And then the next trailers came out a year later, and the more I saw of the movie, oh man, just the worse it looked. Those last couple of trailers just sucked. So I went in yesterday thinking, man, this is gonna suck. Definitely was hoping for the best, but really expecting the worst. And I gotta say, overall, I dug it. I definitely dug it. Could it have been a little shorter? Yeah. The plot, very thin. But the stuff that was cool, the stuff that was good, was really, really good. And really, it comes right down to the characters. The League itself, I thought, was done extremely well. Gal Gadot, once again, killing it as Wonder Woman. No surprise there. I thought she was used extremely well in the movie, and I thought, once again, Gal just did a great job. She is Wonder Woman. Just great performance, great casting, and looking forward to seeing more of her in the future. Batfleck, I'm a fan. I know, not everybody is, but I dig Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. I dig him as Batman, but unfortunately, it appears as though Ben Affleck not really digging being Batman and is looking for a way out of the franchise. I hope it doesn't happen. I really do, because I definitely want to see Ben Affleck in the solo Batman movie, hopefully doing some detecting as the world's greatest detective. I think it would be good, but if the rumors are true and he does want out, they have already announced that the Flash movie is going to be Flashpoint. So they have a perfect way to retcon Batfleck right the heck out of there. So interesting to see what's coming up there as far as the future of Batman in these movies goes. But speaking of Flash and Flashpoint, I dug it. I definitely was worried that I was not going to be able to accept another Flash in my life, because I'm a big fan of the TV show. I think Grant Gustin does a great job. Love the way they portray Barry Allen on that show. And I gotta say, Ezra Miller did a really good job. And I like this characterization of Barry. Definitely a different take than Grant Gustin's, but super cool. I like the way they had it. His brain kind of moves so fast that he has trouble relating to the outside world. He's like the ADHD superhero. So I thought it was cool. I thought it was a neat take on the character, and I thought it was a good performance. Speaking of good performances, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I totally dug this take on Aquaman. Looking forward to the Aquaman movie. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, I liked it. And Aquaman and The Flash definitely brought some humor to the movie, which has been sorely lacking in a lot of the other DC flicks, and I think it felt natural. It didn't come off as forced, but yeah, I dug it. Definitely dug the characters. Cyborg even. I'm not a huge Cyborg guy. I liked him on the Teen Titans cartoon, not Teen Titans Go, the original, and I thought that they did a really good job of portraying the character in the movie. And I think the suit, the Cyborg suit, actually looked a lot better than I expected it to. It does not look very good in the still promotional images, but when you see it moving around on screen, it works. Definitely works. One of the better special effects in the movie. And we'll get to more about the special effects here in a minute, but yeah, overall, I really dug the flick. Cool to see J.K. Simmons showing up as Commissioner Gordon. That was nice. I could have used some more of him, but we'll take whatever we can get. When we can get J.K. Simmons in one of these movies, hopefully one day he'll be back as J. Jonah Jameson, because I don't know who else can play J. Jonah Jameson. He was so good. And yes, just great to see him And it's just kind of funny that's a scene that was in the trailer, provided one of the big laughs in the movie when Commissioner Gordon turns around, everyone's gone except for the Flash. And he's like, whoa, kind of rude. Which, yeah, no kidding, it is kind of rude. But, yeah, definitely a funny part in the movie. Now, let's talk about what was not so good. The special effects, really not so special, kind of throughout the flick. The battle sequences, although they looked kind of cool, they also looked really fake. And we're at a point now in these movies, I've said this before, I spent 2 hours with a talking raccoon and a little baby tree, and they never didn't look real. So the bar is way high, and I just gotta say, a lot of this movie just looked really fake. Particularly, once again, that last 20 minutes. This seems to be like the thing in the DC movies. Even Wonder Woman could not avoid this curse. The last 20 minutes of the movie is just like a splatterfest of CGI and swirly and dark and a lot of red. And yeah, just bleh. Not good. Not good. But what was good, one of the characters that I did not mention in the League, and this is kind of a spoiler, I guess, but not really because, he's in the trailer. Superman is back! And he looks like Superman! Primary colors! He's much brighter in this movie than he was in the previous two. And, I don't know if that just made all the difference. He smiled a little bit. That was cool. The way they brought him back was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. But, I don't want to get too spoilery here, but, yeah, Supes is back, and was definitely a lot closer to the Superman that we all kind of know and love. Definitely more of a traditional Superman. And, yeah, they CGI'd off his mustache in the reshoots, and there are a couple of scenes, again, these special effects not being so special, where his mouth just looks weird. But overall, like I say, those things, they're kind of minor complaints, really, because when you just look at the big picture, this was a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Particularly if you had asked me after watching Batman vs. Superman the first time, hey, you ready for Justice League? I would have been like, no, I am not ready for Justice League. And overall, I dug it. Although I have to say, we've had a pretty amazing year for comic book movies. And we kicked off the year with Logan. We had Guardians Volume 2. We had Spider-Man Homecoming. We had Wonder Woman. We had Thor Ragnarok. And now we have Justice League. And gotta say, out of the comic book movies released this year, Justice League, definitely my least favorite. But overall, I dug it. It just, like I say, much like the special effects bar is really high, just the level of quality of these comic book movies has come so far here over the last couple of years. Marvel definitely, in my opinion, leading the way as far as that goes. But DC definitely made huge leaps forward with Wonder Woman, and the trend kind of continues with Justice League. Definitely not as good as Wonder Woman, but a hell of a lot better than Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, and Suicide Squad, in my opinion. So we're going to see what happens next. The next flick we got coming is Aquaman. After that, we got The Flash, and after that, really don't know. Like, Suicide Squad 2 is kind of off in the distance. I'm really not looking forward to that. But we'll see where they go. We'll see if Ben Affleck remains as Batman, and we'll see if DC can continue the trend of improving this universe. Apparently, though, the future movies might be more just standalones as opposed to having the interconnectivity that Marvel has. So it'll be very interesting to see where they go from here in the DC movies. Now, I just have to say that if they had just, handed the keys to the kingdom to Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, Alan Burnett, that crew who did the amazing animated shows back in the day, then I think that, we wouldn't have had Man of Steel and BVS. We would have had some movies that actually, understood the characters that they were portraying, and I think would have been a hell of a lot better. But, like I say, they have definitely corrected the course, and things appear to be improving. So, overall, again, I dug Justice League. I recommend you see it. I don't think that IMAX 3D or 3D in general would add to this. In fact, I think it would probably detract from it. I think it would make the movie look even more fake than it did in good old 2D. So I don't think you have to spend that extra change, but definitely worth seeing on the big screen. And definitely hang around for the credits. There are 2 credit sequences, one midway through, one at the end. Gonna go spoilery here real quick. So if you haven't seen it, stop now. Thanks for checking in. See you next time. And if you're still hanging in, let's talk about those the mid-credit sequence in particular. Superman and the Flash racing. Just love it. Right off the page. Gives me goosebumps thinking about it. It just was awesome. You know, I could see a movie of that would have been just fine, you know? Because the interaction was great between them, and that was really the highlight of the flick for me, was the interaction between the characters. As far as the second post-credit scene goes, very cool to see Deathstroke. Very cool to see Deathstroke, but I gotta say, not very cool to see Jesse Eisenberg back as Lex Luthor. Yeah, that was something I really could have done without. You know? So many bad choices in that performance and that characterization of Lex, and apparently that's the Lex we're stuck with. Hopefully, maybe Flashpoint can get rid of him too and make him cooler. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, what did you think of the flick? Hope you dug it. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like, and if you like what you hear. If you want to hear more, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, and thank you once again for checking into YouTube.